Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the EDH Jank Center podcast. This is a cheeky little show where we break down 5 janky, budget, or underutilized cards every other week. These cards may not be the best, most efficient, or even good, but here at the Jank Center, we believe every single card deserves a chance to shine. As always, I'm your host, Jordan, and today I am joined by my co-host, the Air Nomad, Crest Lightning, everyone.
Here's the thing, folks. We've recorded this episode before. And not only have we recorded this episode before, but we've had technical difficulties. And Jordan asked me this before, and it took me aback. And now is saying it, or has called me that before. Would you like to elaborate what you mean by that?
To be honest, I don't remember what I said in the previous recording, but I'm saying right now, because you got a buzz cut right now, people can't see, but you got a little buzz cut. It's just giving Aang a little bit. But also you're kind of light and airy. That's how I sort of picture you. Maybe that's what I said last time.
I think that's the vibe. That's
That's kind of just how I picture you in my head. Oh, and then I said, that I could just picture you doing the, yeah, and like,
oh, on the...
Aang, like on the little air ball, like I could just picture you doing that, and that is why I said that today.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Okay, I vibe with my hair, because my hair's not completely shaved. It's grown in a little bit. Is it like when he's in the Fire Nation and he's like calling everybody Hotman?
Yeah, yes, Flameo Hotman. Yeah, because his name is Kuzan there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he goes by Kuzan. When he's got
Flame me out, Hotman.
Rest in peace. So one time, Crest and I decided to try a little Nuzlocke together. This is like back in the day. This is like a year and a half ago now, I feel like.
Truly lore.
Yeah, we tried to do a little Nuzlocke, and I caught a it's not a Chimchar, it's like one of the elemental monkey Pokemon. I can't remember what it's called.
Simisear.
Simisear, that's right.
Pansear is the baby one.
Yeah. I caught one of those. I was like so stoked. I was like, cool, I got a fire type already. Like, let's go. And I named it Hotman because I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender at the time, and Hotman did not make it. Hotman did not survive.
Patrons, let us know down in the comments if you want to see us suffer through a Nuzlocke. That's something we might do for our patrons if there's requests there.
Yeah, we're exploring extra content ideas. That's not a joke. We are exploring that for patron content. So if you'd be interested in seeing us do Pokemon content, let us know. Us playing a Nuzlocke is pretty entertaining. I gotta say, that would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I think you're an Air Nomad. That's why I used it as your honorific. How have you been doing? We have not recorded in a while. We've been very erratic because of all the difficulties.
And trying to set everything up, but you've been pumping videos. So that's new.
Yes, we've returned to weekly videos. I've finally got a schedule that fits me now, and it just feels so good to be back and be making deck techs and making lists. My brain thrives on that stuff. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's been great, and it's been great so far. And we've got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline too.
I'm excited.
Very exciting.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff we're thinking about, we're doing.
Yeah, just been chilling.
No, I had some like real crazy health problems for like a few weeks, and life was not cool. But I'm better now, obviously, because I'm here and we're chatting, and this episode is getting made.
It's actually, yeah, it's real. It's here. We're back.
We're back. Yeah, so feeling good. Just in general, day-to-day life, everything is great. How are you doing?
I've been good. I've been trying to figure out my work situation. I quit serving. That's a big deal for me. If you've been listening to the podcast, I've been, in the restaurant industry for a while. As an artist, it's kind of like one of the only jobs that was flexible enough to allow me to do the things that I love to do, right? And this summer, I just reached a point where I could not take it anymore. And I knew that even though it might be a bit harder, a bit more stressful, I think I have to remove myself from those spaces. It was taking a toll on me mentally. Also, it was just unreliable money. Decided to get out of there. I got out. Now I've got a job lined up. I'm working on my art. I'm trying to make it a viable thing for myself. So that's been exciting. I feel it's sort of like a new verve for this like new chapter in my life, which is pretty cool and exciting. So for those who don't know, we break down these 5 selected cards here, but it's with a twist. Every card is under $1, and every card Cress and I both select a commander that we think it would be great in. So without further ado, Our first selection of the day is Scavenger Drake. It's a 3 and a black creature Drake. This is from Modern Masters 2015. That's the cheapest one, but it's originally printed in Shards of Alara. And it has flying, and it says whenever another creature dies, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Scavenger Drake. And it starts out as a 1/1. I love the fact that this has flying already on it. A lot of people would be like, you know, hey, 4 mana for a 1/1 that you got to wait for things to happen for it to get buffed up. Not the greatest thing in the world, which is agreeable. I love the fact that this can just, especially in a budget build, can start accruing value over time, and it's already got that evasive keyword on it, and it can just swing in and start smashing face, because we all know this. Creatures die in Magic the Gathering, even if you're not... I know. It's very shocking, but...
I'm making a face, audience, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had to comfort them because it is a shocking revelation. You know, your creatures are going to die in a game of Magic. That's just going to happen. Even if you're not leaning...
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. But you might as well take advantage of it because...
Sure.
Cards like this can get very, very beefy, very, very fast. And before you know it, even if it's not your main win con, this can be killing players left and right. If you're like leaning into that strategy, it gets even better. There's a commander printed in Bloomburrow called Maha. It turns all your opponent's creatures into base toughness 1. You can cast anthem effects like Karavek the Spiteful, things like that.
Okay.
Give all creatures -1/-1, and when they enter, they'll just die due to state-based action. Yeah, you can beef up your Scavenger Drake by a plenty. Weirdly, this was not my commander pick, but I think Maha's actually like a really cool choice. So I'm going to pivot to have that be my undisputed... This has not happened before. Yeah, I used to have Sir Conrad, but that's for the birds, baby. Ironically enough, Maha is also a bird. Yeah, I think Maha would be a really cool commander for this. Maha is 3 black legendary creature elemental bird. It's from Bloomburrow. It has flying and trample and ward discard a card. So in order to target it, your opponents would have to discard a card in addition to paying the cost for whatever they're using to target it. And it says creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1, and it's a 6/5. So yeah, just throw Scavenger Drake in here. Just start killing your opponent's creatures. I don't endorse this personally, but I think it's a great pick and a great strategy and a great way to use a card like this. So people will have, you know, you'll play it and people will be like, what? Why? What are you doing?
Sure.
But then it'll end up smashing them in the face. And that's always a satisfying feeling.
And we love that.
We do love that. What did you pick?
Okay, so there aren't any legendary creatures that are drakes, but my pick for this is Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon, which is a legendary creature dragon skeleton for 3 and 2 black. It's a flying infect. It has pay black. Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon, gains haste until the end of turn, or pay 2 black and regenerate Skithiryx, and it's a 4/4.
No, Skithiryx is a scary boy.
It is, and you've got some infecting that could be really helpful when, like, getting rid of, like, little guys or whatever, you know what I mean?
And having a flying creature in this deck is thematic.
Yeah.
Skithiryx in the art looks like he's perched atop a cliff.
Yeah.
And, like, behind him could be hordes of drakes or dragons, you know?
Even though I know in the flavor text of Scavenger Drake, it says dragons consider drakes to be mockeries of their perfection, destroying them on sight. But in this scenario, I would like you to look past Scavenger Drake's...
Yeah, artistic license, creative license to...
And this is a dragon skeleton. It was a dragon. It's not anymore. It's a dead dragon. So maybe the dead dragon's like, maybe I should have treated the drakes better.
Yeah, maybe he's regretful. Oh, that's actually really cute.
And so now he just uses them and commands them.
I think that it's also a great pick because if you're running Infect with this, you're probably just running Infect in the deck. You should probably commit to that. And
yeah,
Scavenger Drake, very easy to get it to 10.
Right.
It's very, like, that is a couple turn cycles, maybe even less if you're leaning into that strat. You can give that Infect once it's a 10/10, and you're just one-shotting people. So that's a great pick, and I think it's time for us to move on to the next card, which is Mistakes Were Made. It's a 1 and a green instant. This is from the Unfinity set. It says, destroy target artifact or enchantment, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token for each fire extinguisher you can see from your seat. So I feel like I've been getting some comments on YouTube Shorts about people wanting me to cover Unfinity cards and things like that. I've generally avoided it just because they are just so goofy a lot of the time. This one is kind of an exception because what I like about it, it's not Commander legal. Unfinity cards are fun, and even if you personally don't, vibe with them, I think a lot of people do, and it can be a way to spice up your game nights.
Playing at the table with some fun cards that might not be legal is fine. You can't take this deck that would have any of the uncards in it to like your fucking, local game store.
Yeah.
And be like, this is my really fun deck. Everybody should want to play with it. You know what I mean? But if you're playing in a group that's like, you got some uncards and you're like, you bring those to your group and you're like, oh, I've got some of these. I made a commander deck that's like fun for me. This is the vibe.
I completely agree. I think this is, especially if you've had an established play group, it's as simple. If you want to run stuff like this, it's as simple as going, hey guys, like, I really think these cards are super fun. Would you be okay with me running them in a couple decks? And I think especially cards like this, where it's just a removal spell. And then if you have a fire extinguisher near you, then it becomes fun and goofy. But at base level, it's just a removal spell. But things like this are super fun and can really like make for a memorable gaming experience. I remember seeing like some unset card. I can't remember what it was called, but it has a praying mantis on the art. And it's all about like if you can throw a card and hit another card on the table, you can destroy that card. Like I just picture,
I love that shit.
Yeah, same. And I pictured, us doing that with our friends, and that I think it's a great time. Something that we should mention, this makes a squirrel token. Seeing as we've got tons of squirrel support in the past few years, I think we should be running it into Chatterfang Squirrel General, which is already kind of a meme in our play group. 2 of our friends have this deck in paper. It's 2 and a green legendary creature, Squirrel Warrior from Modern Horizons 2. It has Forest Walk, which means this creature can't be blocked as long as defending player controls a forest. And it says, if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. So if you make 3 treasures, you get to make 4 squirrels. That kind of thing. And it has, you can pay 1 black mana, sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn, and it's a 3/3. Yeah, so I'm just thinking, extra synergies here. It's pretty simple stack. I kind of just wanted to talk about the Unfinity sets in general, but the extra synergy with the squirrel makes it a synergistic choice and something fun that you can play with your friends. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And I think if you're interested in it, you should ask your play group and see if you guys can run some Unfinity cards. And I think you'll end up having a great little time. Do you have a little guy?
I also picked a little guy.
I love a little guy. Let's go for it.
My little guy is from an unset because I thought, well, if you're going to use unset cards, you've got to have an unset commander. This card is called Surgeon General, which is crossed out Commander. It is a legendary creature, Wombat Bat Chameleon for 3 and a green. Whenever you augment, enchant, or mutate a creature you control, draw a card. And you can tap it to add white, blue, black, red, or green. And it's a 3/3. This is from Unsanctioned. And I think this is a great Wooburg deck idea. Do you guys even know what augment is?
No, tell us.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Did you like how mutate went up?
Yeah.
On top of a card? This, augmenting, is putting cards on the side and adding things to the name of the card. So, for instance, if I had Chatterfang Squirrel General, I could play the augmented Bat card and put Bat on the side of Chatterfang, and it would be Bat Chatterfang Squirrel General.
You can do that with just regular cards too? It's not like just unset?
No, okay, augment is not in any other set, so it's only an unset ability.
No, right, but I'm saying, like, what is the ability of augment?
Augment, you pay 1 and a black. The cost is different depending on the card. Reveal this card from your hand, combine it with target host. Augment only as a sorcery. Yeah,
host creatures have to have the host subtype.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's a thing in the unsets as well?
Or it's a super type. It's a super type. Yeah, it's only unsets.
Anyway, I wanted to highlight these anyway. augmenting and hosting, creating fusion cards of the most chaotic things I've ever seen.
I would love to see some more, honestly. Genuinely, like, there's only a few of them, and
yeah,
I'm surprised that Unfinity did not continue that.
Add more.
I think there's lots of opportunities to do that, you know, with the aliens and stuff, because Unfinity's like set in space or something. I'm not entirely clear about that, but, well, that's a lovely selection, lovely mechanics, and weirdly, was Unsanctioned before Mutate?
Unsanctioned Silver Bordered was released in 2020. Yeah, so the Unsanctioned set with Mutate triggers came out before Ikoria.
Interesting. So I wonder if they were like hinting at the fact that it was going to be a thing, and people were like, what is Mutate? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Is there Mutate in Unsanctioned? I don't think so, right? No way. No, yep. Mutate was first referred to on the silver bordered card Surgeon General Commander in Unsanctioned.
Wow, we just uncovered the lore.
That's amazing. We're little detectives. Everybody give us little detective hats.
We're all little detectives. We're Sherlock Holmes and Cress Lightning. Or Sherlock Lightning and Jordan Holmes.
That's Dr. Cress to you.
Dr. Cress and
Sherlock Jordan and Dr. Cress.
Potential episode title. Let's move on to Pangtong Young Phoenix.
A card that is... How much, Jordan?
Okay, wait. We're going to get there.
Okay.
Don't shame me. It's 1 white creature. Human advisor. You can tap. Target creature gets +0/+2 until end of turn. Activate only during your turn before attackers are declared. And it's a 1/2.
That's pretty good.
It costs $96.10.
Wow. Jordan, I don't know if you know this,
but
a $100 bill does not equal a $1 bill.
That is true. That is true. Listen, and the one thing I'll say to that is, don't remember me for what I did. Remember me for how I made you feel. No, but I wanted to talk about this because this has a lot of special connotations for me. I wanted to say this is a great example of a time where we can talk about proxying on the show, because I feel like that is sort of within the niche that we operate in, like the budget, space for Magic the Gathering content.
Yeah, it's real cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I agree.
Print your cards.
Print your cards. Don't let money prevent you from participating and experiencing this beautiful game.
Better yet, take regular paper, write all your favorite cards down, cut them out, and just put them in the sleeves.
Yeah, well, that would be a nightmare if it's just regular paper. You might want to invest in cardstock or something.
You take a land, you put it in the sleeve, and then you put like a piece of paper over the land.
Oh, that's really smart. Can you tell I don't proxy that much? That's really smart. Do that. Do that, folks. This game is wonderful, and yeah, money should not prevent you from doing it. So if you want to play with Pangtong Young Phoenix, you don't want to pay $96+ to order it online or something like that, or buy it from your LGS. That is perfectly reasonable and totally okay. And don't let anyone shame you into thinking that it's not.
But why did you pick a $96 card, Jordan?
Thank you for that prompt. Well, Cress, I want to talk about a little game.
I'm having deja vu.
Called Dynasty Warriors. Are you familiar?
What?
Are you familiar with the hack and slash game from like the mid-2000s called Dynasty Warriors?
Define familiar, because as I told you in the last time we recorded this, that no one else is ever going to see. I said to you that I have not played a Dynasty Warriors game other than the like Nintendo spin-offs, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, and Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah. And
the kind of like weird hybrid Warriors game that was Persona 5 Strikers.
Heard.
I still have not played a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah.
But I do know, since you told me last time, how this is related to Dynasty Warriors, the video game series.
Yeah.
Would you take it away?
So Dynasty Warriors is about the Three Kingdoms era in the history of ancient China. That is a real thing. You can go look it up. It's all real documented history about a war between three separate kingdoms, the Shu, Wu, and Wei kingdoms, right? Dynasty Warriors is just a hack and slash game where you play as one of the factions and you can play multiple characters within those factions and do your thing. And it's just a really fun game. And I was obsessed with it as a kid. And when I got into Magic the Gathering and I was perusing old sets and, just scrolling on Scryfall as you do, I found a card named like Liu Bei or Cao Cao or things like that. And I'm like, wait, what? Like those are characters from Dynasty Warriors. And it was this whole revelation. And I realized that they had done this, a few times in Magic's early history where they made a set specifically based around a historical era. And this is literally from a set called Portal 3 Kingdoms. And it's literally about the 3 Kingdoms era and all the characters are from that. And it's just really cool. It's really cool. I think the pick for this, because the ability is kind of cool for big butt decks, toughness matters decks where you want creatures with large toughness and make them swing out and do all sorts of things. It provides a temporary buff for those kinds of decks. And I chose as the home Rasad Yin Bashir, which is a 2 and a white legendary creature human monk from Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. It says each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and whenever Rasad Yin Bashir attacks, if you have the initiative, double the toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. And it says choose a background, which backgrounds were like partners, but they're enchantments instead of creatures. In this particular build, we're actually just going straight for mono white. We're not even picking a background. You could pick, I guess, a white background if you wanted, but I wanted to do just a limited, just Rasad as the commander, and it's a 0/3. So it's very simple. It's a big butt deck, mono white, which is pretty restrictive because a lot of the big toughness creatures are in blue and green as well. But I think that's a fun deck building challenge. I kind of want to explore it on the channel a little bit. The podcast has lots of we always come up with really fun deck ideas. Yeah, that's kind of all I had to say. I think Rasad's a cool character. I was going to ask you, this is from Baldur's Gate, and I know you've played Baldur's Gate. I have not.
I've not beaten the first act of Baldur's Gate, so I do not.
I was going to ask if this is a character in Baldur's Gate at all, if you know.
If it's from Baldur's Gate, then he is in Baldur's Gate, most likely.
Heard. Well, okay. What did you pick? What is your selection for this young phoenix?
Yeah, so we're talking about fun little deck building challenges, and I went, well, what if you had unlimited funds, or you're cool with just printing cards. You're cool with just writing card names down. Because what if you wanted to use as many of these advisors from the Portal 3 Kingdoms as you possibly could?
Wonderful idea. Let's get into it.
And how would you do that? Oh, you would do that with an advisor tribal deck, baby. Advisor tribal.
I love to see it.
And for that, you need an advisor legendary creature. For commander pick, my pick being Queza, Augur of Agonies. It's a legendary creature, Cephalid Advisor from Streets of New Capenna. It is 1, a white, a blue, and a black. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. And it's a 3/4. So you could pick any. There's a bunch of different advisors from New Capenna that have 3 colors. All of the advisors from Portal 3 Kingdoms that I would want to use are in white mostly.
Yeah.
And then there's some blue and there's some black. So
nice.
I think, and then there's tons of advisors outside of that. It's a tribal I don't get seen, despite there being, I think, more than enough advisors. And now that we've got so many from New Capenna that are 3-colored, get on it, people with all the funds.
Go to town.
Post Malone.
Yep.
All of the famous people over at, all the big MTG sponsored shows.
Go do it. Do it for us. If you're listening.
Please. Make an advisor tribe. Yeah, make an advisor tribal deck, please, for me.
Josh Lee Kwai likes drawing cards. Queza draws cards. Or likes when you draw cards, so.
You know that about them personally.
One day, we're going to manifest Josh Lee Kwai coming on the show. We're going to manifest.
On this show?
No, on 5 Cards or Die.
Well, I mean, on this channel?
On this channel, yeah. We're manifesting that. Post Malone, Josh Lee Kwai, all of them.
It would be a big deal.
And you know what else is a cool deal?
What?
The next card. And that's a transition.
Wait, hold on. No, hold on. Another fake out here, folks. I want you. What do you mean? Advisor tribal, no comments, no enjoyment of the concept. You don't want to follow through?
We got sidetracked. With Josh Lee Kwai talk, with JLK talk.
You got stars in your eyes.
All right, listen. I like Advisor Tribal. I think it's cool. I like...
Great, now we can move on.
That was really good. You walked me right into that one. Okay, here we go. We're going to move on to the next card now. It's a real transition now. We're going to Oltec Cloud Guard. 3 and a white creature, human soldier. This is from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It has flying. And when Oltec Cloud Guard enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token. And it's a 3/2. So this is like a certain... I always talk about like genres of cards. There are like families of cards that all do sort of similar things, and they run throughout a bunch of sets. I think in the past we've talked about active treason type cards where it's like sorcery, red sorceries that steal a creature for a turn, untap it and give it haste. And there are a bunch of variations of that throughout red. This is something that happens in white, and honestly a couple other colors too, where you have a creature enter and it'll create a token alongside of it. And it's usually like a higher cost to make up for that, right? I've always had an affinity for tokens and for these kinds of cards in general. So I wanted to make a deck around that. We'll get to that in a second. These cards like Oltec Cloud Guard are best suited for a blink strategy. And I think we're just going to shove all the whole genre of white cards that do this into an Elish Norn Mother of Machines deck.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let me cook.
Yeah.
It's a 4 and a white legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. It's from Phyrexia, all will be one.
Wow.
It has vigilance or vigilance, as I like to say sometimes.
Why do you like to say it like that?
Because people react like that. You know, in the monotony of a game night, sometimes you got to spice it up. You got to just say some weird shit, you know?
Oh, I've never felt monotony in a game night. Oh, my games, they're so interesting.
That's because you're the embodiment of chaos.
Yeah.
All right, it's got vigilance. It says, if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent, you control the trigger. That ability triggers an additional time. Very good. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. Ooh, that's mean. And it's a 4/7. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Also, that's a big butt.
That's a big butt. Elish Norn got a big butt. This is, you know, that last ability I'm not paying attention to, even though it will definitely make people upset. But if you're fine with that, I think this is a really fun way to sort of dumb down Elish Norn, because obviously people are going to build this with just degenerate ETB shenanigans. And yeah, it will be dumbed down, but I think this could actually still be quite powerful. There are a lot of token synergies in white. I'm thinking just off rip, Cathar's Crusade.
Yeah.
In combo with like Oltec Cloud Guard entering with the token entering and maybe blinking it once, you're getting 4 Cathar's Crusade triggers off of that. That is pretty disgusting. And you can just chock the deck full of stuff like that, and the cost will be pretty cheap.
Are you building an Elish Norn deck?
Not personally, no. Not in paper. I could build it on the channel, though. Let me know in the comments which one you want to see. Do you want to see Elish Norn, or do you want to see Rasad Yin Bashir butt deck? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so that's sort of my pick. I you know, that's pretty simple, straightforward. What have you got for me?
Yeah, so this card has creates gnomes, right? So I was like, I'll look for a gnome commander. You know, it's very easy to see where I start with these thematic. Yeah. But I thought it'd be funny because gnome artifacts are a thing. The gnome I picked is a Gnome Artificer. I picked a Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter.
Let's go.
They're a legendary creature, Gnome Artificer from Commander Legends Battle for Bottler's Gate. They're a red, a white, and a black. They have haste, tap, sacrifice an artifact creature, create 2 treasure tokens. Two treasure tokens. Tap, sacrifice a non-creature artifact, create 2 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens for 3/3. These are 3.
That's a cool commander.
So Jan Jansen. This is a crazy ability. I think.
It's wild.
Not because it's anything I mean, I'm sure you could come up with combos that are pretty nutso with this. Like, whatever turn you're doing, you're just doing something. Nobody's gonna know what you're doing. And I like the idea of Jan Jansen, a Gnome Artificer, taking apart an artifact gnome.
A bunch of gnomes.
A Gnome Artifact creature token in order to create some treasure, you know? I think that's funny.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of artifact creatures you can artifact creature tokens, all that stuff. You can make this really, really...
Yeah, maybe you do like, you know that, what's the journal deck that you have that,
The journal? Oh, Volo Itinerant Scholar.
Yeah, where you're writing down all the creature types. What if you try to like have every card has to have like a different artifact creature type token come into play?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. You could do Mirror, Gnome, Construct. I think Fallout gave us robots.
Yeah, sure.
Daleks from Doctor Who. Thopters.
There's probably enough. There's probably enough to make it interesting.
There is enough to make it interesting. I like this selection a lot. It's also related to you in a way because it's a Chaos Crafter. So
what do you mean?
Nothing.
No, go on.
No. Now I'm scared.
Explain yourself.
No, now I'm scared. Now I'm scared of you. You scared me now.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I guess we'll end the podcast here.
No, we haven't even gotten to your Chaos Pick of the Day.
Oh, right.
Cue the trumpets. It's time. So I select 4 cards to talk about.
Yeah, he does.
And then Cress handles the 5th card, and it's a card that I don't know about until we're recording live, like right now. It's Cress's Chaos Pick of the Day, and what have you got for us, baby?
I picked a Bloomburrow card!
Yay!
Yay!
More little guys.
I'm trying to stay relevant, but we're so far behind.
We really are.
Okay, my Chaos Pick is Take Out the Trash.
Take out the trash, okay?
It's an instant for 1 and a red. Take Out the Trash deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control a raccoon, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Disgusting. Revolting. Effective. Lo and behold, Bloomburrow's got some raccoon cards.
We do have some raccoons. They're pretty good, too.
Actually, commander pick for this card, which is Muera, Trash Tactician.
Let's go.
A legendary creature raccoon warrior for 1, a red and a green. At the beginning of your first main phase, add red or green for each raccoon you control.
That's very good.
Whenever you expend 4... I don't know what expend does. You gain 3 life. You expend 4 as you spend your 4th total... Oh, Jesus. Your 4th total mana to cast spells during a turn. So every turn, if you tap at least 4, exactly when you tapped the 4th one.
Yep.
This happens. Okay.
You're getting a trigger. Yep.
That's complicated, guys.
It feels complicated. I gotta say, I played with the recently. We played an all precon. My friend brought over 4 precons from Bloomburrow, all 4 of them.
Right.
Played a little game. I played with the raccoons, and first of all, these decks were all humming. They were like incredibly built straight out of the box. It was so cool.
Ooh, I want to buy me a little commandy precon.
It was good. The Bellow Bard of the Brambles precon is pretty freaking awesome. In practice, this ability feels new and you're like, it's like overwhelming, but in practice it's really it's intuitive.
It's just counting up. And you have to do that anyway. Whenever you expend 8, exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Oh, it's kind of like my what's that one really good red, white, green card that I have?
Oh, my Eldianima?
The elf, yeah. It's kind of like a little like lower tier version of that, but also it's a raccoon and it has raccoon tribal and it's a 2/4. Yeah, so I want to do raccoons.
Yeah, you should. I think this is such a great deck for you.
That's it. That's the chaos pick.
I really do. No, it's a lovely pick. I think this is a great idea.
Do you have a favorite little animal from the set? I think I voted for bats, because I probably also want to make a little bat deck.
Honestly, in terms of looks, I love otters. In real life, they're one of my favorite animals on the planet.
That tracks. I don't know what that means, but if you're an otter and I'm a raccoon, I think our audience will understand what that, like, purely on vibes alone.
100% agreed. I think this is a cool build, too, because I like the way Muera is written, because it's clearly meant to be like the mana that you're getting extra is what you use to gain these like abilities, right?
Right.
Ideally, you got a full hand. You're getting 8 mana. You got 8 raccoons. You're getting 8 mana. You can expend 4 and then expend 8, and you're getting all that value while still having all your lands untapped, or most of them. And it's just gas, and like it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
All for 3 mana and guess what?
What?
Moira's got a big butt. It's
Don't
true.
make big butts the title. Don't make
I'm
big
not gonna
butts
do it.
the title. I promise they're gonna hate us.
But it's right there. It's right there.
I know, it's so easy.
Yeah. We could also title this Disgusting, Revolting, Effective, which I think is...
And then just show big butt in the thumbnail.
Yeah. All right. I think that wraps up our cards for the day. Those were some great selections, and we made it through.
I guess we made it through.
Now we got to move on to our poll question of the week. So we also do, we have a free Discord that you can join. The link is in the description or in the show notes. It's a very great community. We'll talk more about it in the plug at the end. But in there, when we are about to record, we poll our Discord members, ask them a question, and we just talk about the stats, break it down live on the pod. So this week's question was, would you play a hack and slash game a la Dynasty Warriors, but with MTG characters? This is a very simple prompt. Yes or no. And Cress has got our stats. You know.
Yeah. So we got
Whoa.
We've got 77.19% of our audience who answers our polls says yes, they would like a hack and slash game.
Yeah, my people.
But 22.81% said no?
Still my people, but why?
Is it like you don't want that to be the... Okay, preface this. Magic the Gathering has not made... I mean, they might have made some smaller titles. I do not know the history of Magic the Gathering video games.
Yeah.
But in the mainstream, Magic the Gathering has not, especially since its big boom, it has not released a big blockbuster, quote-unquote, AAA game in the universe or universes of Magic the Gathering.
Not that I know of either, yeah.
Wizards of the Coast has not licensed it out for any game studio to do the way that they had with Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian Studios. Which Larian Studios, not Wizards of the Coast, right? That's the dev team. They got it licensed out and stuff. They have not done that for a AAA studio to do it with Magic the Gathering. So I think the sentiment here, and I'm assuming, but I would love to know why people wouldn't want a game being made. But I think the sentiment here is that's not the game they would want if Magic was going to do a game at all, because they have not. It would feel wasted on a game that was a hack and slash game. To them, which I can agree with. It wouldn't be my first choice of a game, but we'll get into that.
Personally, I'm of the camp of yes, clearly, because I love Dynasty Warriors, and I think there's lots of different worlds in which this could work. I mean, you know, if you're in some sort of goblin area, you gotta fight a bunch of goblins. I think that would be great for that kind of style of game. Also, one of the users here in the Discord mentioned that they once tried to code a game similar to this style.
Right.
Set in the world of Innistrad, like in the Avacyn sort of era, which I thought was really, really cool and a great concept. You could do, you could do vampires versus werewolves. You could do, all sorts of stuff that ends up being really fun and creative and engaging.
I will say where I think this works the most, and if you've played any of the Warriors games outside of Dynasty Warriors, the franchise, right? Outside of it being in the Dynasty Warriors universe. Yeah. Like Hyrule Warriors, for example, is a really good showcase of how you can take a bunch of characters, like a bunch of planeswalkers, make them all unique play styles in this hack and slash formula, and you can go to a bunch of different planes.
Yeah.
Right? You get a bunch of different backdrops. So each map is like its own unique, it doesn't have to feel like, it might not be as explored as some people want, but the lore's there for that. The cards are there for that. This game can just be about playing in a 3D scenario, right? I think it suits the idea of going to different planes, and even if we're doing it modern now, the modern Omen Path has connected all of the planes together. I think it would work really well within that framework for us to play with a bunch of different legendary creatures instead of planeswalkers, right?
I agree. I would love that. That'd be so sick.
And we get to go to a bunch of different planes, and you get to have... That's why you could play
as Rakdos?
Yeah, you could play as Rakdos in whatever, like, not just under Junction. You could play as Rakdos in Ixalan. You could play as Rakdos in,
Dominaria, or...
Yeah, exactly, or whatever. And I think it, again, wouldn't be my first pick of genre for MTG, but I do think it works really well within the framework of where we are at within the lore and story.
What would be your first choice for a Magic the Gathering video game?
Probably an RPG set within Ravnica. And by RPG, I would, because it would be really cool for you to develop your own sort of character. Probably not Planeswalker, you know, but somebody who could become eventually the legendary creature status.
Right.
And so you would be able to sort of like maneuver your way by unlocking sort of, you have like 5 different colors, right, to play with of mana. And depending on whether you've unlocked certain colors, like combos, is whether or not like guilds will interact with you and how to sort of like interact between guilds.
That's so cool. Yeah. I'm so into that.
And maybe be sort of like Niv Mizzet's, like connected to Niv Mizzet and being like special to Niv Mizzet in some way, as like a 5-color user.
Wow.
Who like maintains the peace.
Wizards, please, if you're listening, if you do anything, just listen to Cress and make this game, because I'd be so into that. I'd be so into that.
I think that would be where I would go, purely just because I think Ravnica has such interesting lore to play with in a moving forward sense, right? I think Innistrad is a great setting, but I think you would have to have a fully complete story to then give it, which I'm not saying a video game wouldn't have, but I think playing with pre-established stuff, Ravnica has a lot more that's yet to be played around with, especially from a personal level, right? When you're talking about playing as a video game, you're playing as like a character or a party. I mean, I would love like a 4. I could look. I talked about with you like pitching doing like the Weatherlight Saga as a TV show. Do the Weatherlight Saga as like a 4 turn-based 4-party RPG game.
That would be cool.
That could be fun, like a classic Final Fantasy. Cool. People don't like that genre though, so I would lean more to sort of like the personal customizable character, like an Elder Scrolls Skyrim type game in Ravnica. That's like the energy that I fuck
with that. I really do.
Separate it more from Baldur's Gate, I think, in the RPG realm.
Yeah, I really mess with that idea. I think it would take something like that, like a video game set in the Magic world, for me to really, really get into video games. I could see myself like buying that and then it's sort of opening up from there, in the same vein as like how certain Universes Beyond sets are going to pull people from who are not necessarily into Magic into the game because of like, oh, I love Lord of the Rings and like this card game looks cool.
I think Baldur's Gate did that for D&D.
Right.
A lot of people playing Baldur's Gate just because it's good, and then being like, oh, I kind of want to start some D&D campaigns with my friends who have never previously had the push to do that.
Exactly.
Before. Because it wasn't as accessible necessarily without having to go out and know people, but now D&D is accessible to just buy on your own and play with the game.
It's very cool. All right. Well, that was a lovely poll question. I had a lot of fun. Did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I'll talk about video game concepts all day long. I would love it. Wizards of the Coast. If you want to hire me and give me a little dev team.
That'd be sick. We're manifesting that for you.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
So on to the last portion of today's pod. We are going to go to our patron question of the day. So if you join at the $3 tier of our Patreon, you get to be put, amongst other things, into a Discord channel where you are able to submit questions for us to answer on the pod. So today's question is, if you were a 1-drop creature, what would you be? And this was asked by our patron, Little Red Panda. We love Little Red Panda. Thank you so much for your support. She is great. And now we got to talk about what we would be if we were 1-drop creatures. And I believe we've gotten a question similar where someone asked us if we were commanders, what would we be? Mm-hmm. And we created custom cards. So I've got my selection ready to go, and I'll read it first. So if I were a 1-drop creature, I would be 1 hybrid green-white mana, and I would be a human bard. And I would say, when this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If its power is 4 or greater, put a double strike counter on it instead, and it's a 1/3. Because, first of all, I am also the owner of a big butt. Mm-hmm. I'm a proud owner of a big butt in real life. So I want to have that displayed somewhere on the card. And because 1-drops are little guys, I'm a little guy. I'm a short king. So got that going for me. I'm a human. That's true. Just baseline. Bard is because like I'm an artist. I'm a singer and music producer and all that. And I love +1/+1 counters, and I love the new counters from Capenna. So I put a double strike counter in there and mixed it in. I thought it was a fun mechanic because I think it's like a bit limited too. I didn't want to make it like too broken, you know, because like buffing creatures up over time, maybe blinking this over time, it eventually gets to a point where you get to put a double strike counter on it. Putting multiple double strike counters on something just isn't feasible, right? Like it's just a weird move. So it forces you to sort of spread the love out, which I think is cool. And that's kind of my vibe. I feel very good about that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So my 1-drop card is Cress the Cowardly Trash Panda. I am a human raccoon for 1 blue. And my ability is tap and pay a green mana.
Yeah.
Prevent all combat damage that would be, or it's not all combat damage. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Cress this turn. Or like this card this turn.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
And it's a 1/1.
I love that.
So it's like you tap and he scampers away. I scamper away.
Is it a legendary creature or no?
Yeah, it'll be a legendary creature, human raccoon.
Okay, yeah, mine would also be a legendary as well. Okay, love that. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think you could attack with it, and when it gets blocked, you could pay that ability in response.
Activate only as a sorcery.
Oh, you did say that. Okay.
I didn't say that, but I'm adding that on. No,
okay.
I wouldn't want you to be able to attack with it.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Cool. Well, I love it.
Want to avoid it being a broken, like, Voltron situation. So, no.
Sure. Got to keep it a little guy.
Yeah, the point is that you're running away because you're a little guy.
Yeah, just a skittering little...
Scampers away.
Yeah. No, I love it. That's a great selection. And again, like we did with the commanders, if anyone in the community feels so inclined to create the custom card based off these designs, we would be forever in your debt. We had an amazing patron back when this happened in the previous episodes who sent us physical versions of these cards, the commanders we designed for ourselves.
Yeah, it's dope.
Such a lovely gesture. It's so cool. So if you feel, you don't have to, but if you feel inclined, that would be really cool.
Are you asking?
No. I'm putting it out there for people
because you would like to see it.
If someone sent me that, I would not be upset.
Sure.
I would not be upset at that notion.
Sure.
But I am upset at the notion that we now have to move on to the plug because the episode is over.
But I'm not upset at the fact that we have to move to the plug because plugin is good.
Plugin is good.
You can quote that. Plugin is good.
Plugin is good. Rest lightning.
That's an episode title.
Plugin is good for sure. Okay, it's plug time. And hey, listen, if you'd like to get extra entries in our monthly Discord giveaways, win prizes in our monthly deck building contests, which we just finished our first one this month, and play spell table games with me and my lovely co-host Cress here every month, check out our Patreon in the description below. We've got lots of awesome ways to support. And if you want to snag a Paramount Designs playmat through our lovely little affiliate link, check that out in the description below. If you use our link, you get 30% off your purchase. And for those who may not have the funds, but still want to be part of the community, you can always hop in our Discord completely for free and join our wonderful community of Jank lovers. And another free way to support us is by liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel, following us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at EDH Jank Center, and making sure to leave us a 5-star review. This is important on the listening platform of your choice. It helps out the algorithm, helps push us out into new listeners' ears, and just, yeah, we'd really appreciate that. And yeah, that's kind of it for me. You got any closing statements for us?
Of course. First of all, it's been a wonderful return to form.
It has.
With you, Jordan. I'm so grateful we get to do this again and be in a better place than we were a few weeks ago.
I agree.
Second, Wizards of the Coast, please. If you need ideas to make this, you don't even have to pay me.
You should pay them. You should pay them.
Just tell me you're going to make the video game and I'll give you all the ideas for free.
No, I'm going to step in there. Crest should definitely get paid. Wizards, you should pay Crest for their ideas, for sure.
I just want to play it.
Same. I would love to play that game.
And third,
rule of threes. This better be the funniest one.
Something raccoon.
Yeah, there it is.
That's it.
That's the episode title, baby. And we got to get out of here now. I think that's like the 7th time I've referenced an episode title. And we gotta lead out with the catchphrase, which is, remember kiddos, the spirit of the format is the gathering. And now we're getting out of here. Bye.
Oh my god, this car. Come on.
Is it like a block away and it's not moving?
I want pizza!